The Flash, Season 7, Episode 10, titled Family Matters Part 1. Now, this episode is the second last episode of this Speed Force story of Nora going full Highlander and trying to find all the other Speed Forces so she can only be one and all that kind of stuff. But I have to say this. Watching the episode, I had a couple mindsets. One was, I'm not as invested as I should with this. And two, what was the point of this episode? Knowing what it was trying to lean into, and then the outcome that happened in the post-credit scene. Like, seriously, what was the point of this entire episode? Because the reason I'm not as invested with this whole Nora Speed Force thing is it felt not that well developed. Like, it felt very, not washed, but just feels very, okay, first we're going to do this, and first we're going to do this, and first we're going to do this, and then we'll just do this, and we'll wrap it up. And didn't have much time to flesh out the Nora character. And I get it, maybe the mindset was like, well, the Speed Force has always been there since season 1, and it has always formed the shape of Nora, Barry's mom, and all that. But it came across but for me personally, it just came across as very undeveloped, really, because when she turned, it did. After that, she just became like, "Here's your box of villain lines. Pick them." Yeah, and you pick like Barry. I warned you, and I will have the true power and absolute power, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, and she's not that well compelling. But the stuff that was appealing are all the stuff that clearly is hinting for the rest of the season. And that is the stuff dealing with the FBI agent going all anti-metahuman. And because what it feels like is she's the character who's going to basically question every little thing that the fans have comedically questioned, but knows it's not important, but it's serious questions in the context of the show. She's gonna be that. Like, I remember when at the beginning of the show, that they will throw villains into Star Labs prisons and kind of treat Star Labs as the show's Arkham Asylum. This is Flash's Arkham Asylum. This is where all the metahumans will go. But fans start questioning, so how do they eat? Do they get out? Where's the toilet? Do they get sleep? All of these questions, and logically they joke about it and all kind of stuff, and it was kind of neat. Be a little wink wink, but they just moved on and all kind of stuff. But it feels like this is a character who's going to address it. I do think she's going to find out that Barry's the Flash. I think we might have Central City know about it. But so it's going to be a little bit of tie with how Arrow ended, or at least for this season. How the 7th season of Arrow is going to probably feels a little bit like the same of Flash. Anyway, but what finds me interesting about this character is the potential of points of view and things getting very interesting of its way, of the depth of it. The questions of her point of view of the point of view of Central City, the point of view of the heroes. Does she see the Flash as heroes, as saviors, as Central City does, or do she sees them as criminals? What is her point of view as a mega-human criminal? I mean, we all know her point of view of Killer Frost, but she was she was kind of like an anti-hero. There was a grey area with her. while she's clearly sees things very black and white, what's her point of view of Flash? What about this? What about that? What Essential C's response of her? Like, it's an interesting concept of it, and that's the thing that's very intriguing by it. And it's a, for me, that's the interesting part that I really want to. That was the interesting part of the episode. I was at the point where I didn't really care about the Speed Force and Psyche's stupid. I'm sorry, I'm going to have a little bit went. Psyche's powers in this episode, like I get Nightmare stuff and the Dead Query, that kind of stuff. But the moment they gave him tentacles, I was like, and definitely in the third act, I was like, this is stupid. I know it's Flash, I know you have a TV budget, I know you have a CW TV budget, and it's not that much. But, really? Tentacles? Like, we have a Hulk-type character just bit-slapping tentacles for like, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds, let's say 10 seconds or something. And it's like, what am I looking at? This is not a really fascinating, like, at all. It's not a real good climax of it. But anyway, we got one more episode of the Speed Force story and see how it all wraps up. But knowing the ending, I won't lie, I kind of felt like, what is the point? Clearly Iris is not dead. But yeah, this episode I just felt was kind of meh, outside of like the leading up stuff for the upcoming episodes.